Yeah, so this is a story. Thought I'd tell you a story. It's Saturday afternoon. I'm going to tell you a story. Has to do with the racetrack. Has to do with my mom and dad and my two brothers. My two brothers are Ricky and Donnie. I got another brother, Sammy, but he was kind of young for this day. But my mom and dad and Donnie and Ricky were at the racetrack. The racetrack, not that probably anybody knows, but it's down at the corner. It's gone, it's been tore down for years now. But it was down at, I'm pretty sure it was Greenwood and Queen Street, and they used to call it, or Greenwood or Woodbine. No, it was Woodbine and Queen Street, yeah. And they call it Greenwood, if I get this right, so long ago. But yeah, so it takes place on a Saturday afternoon, of course, right? It's summertime, it's June, July, stuff like that, right? So now they're sitting in the bar area where the TVs are, and you can make bets there, right? And the horses, the race is shown on TVs. So you can sit there and, those little round tables with the 4 chairs, etc. So my mom and dad's down a little bit down there, right? And they're with Tony Slater. Yeah, his name is Tony Slater, works with my dad, or, back then worked for my dad or worked with my dad, whatever. And of course, Donnie and Ricky are down a little bit farther, right? So they order beers, the beer's on the table, and they decide to go to the washroom. So they go to the men's room and come back out. The beer's gone. Right? The beer's off the table. The table's all cleared off. So they say to the waiters, right, like, where's their beer, right? And the waiter said, well, they thought they left, but now they want their beers, right? So the waiters weren't too thrilled over giving them their beer. So now the argument ensues, right? And Ricky and Donnie get a little anxious. Yeah, they get a little anxious. I always seem to cough when I make videos. So they get a little anxious, and there's a fight, right? They start fighting, and the waiters are fighting, and then we're with Ricky and Donnie. Next thing you know, security shows up. They're grabbing all the Ricky and Donnie, and that's not going so well. So more fighting is going on. So now my dad sees the waiters, right, and the security guards, right, fighting with Donnie and Ricky. So my dad decides to get up and go down and help his 2 sons. So my dad wails into it, starts hammering a few guys, right, and they're going flying. He picks them up and throws them around, right? So that's not working out too well for the waiters or the security guard now. So it's Donnie and Ricky and my dad's wailing away on the security guards and the waiters, and the next thing you know, the cops show up, the police. So they get in there, right? And they start, grabbing Ricky and Donnie and my dad, right, and stuff. So they're not really fighting too back about the cops, but, there's 6 cops on my dad, right? They're all over my dad, and they're putting two sets of handcuffs on him. And my mom, of course, sees this, so she wails into it, swinging her purse at the cops. She's got one of those long, purses, right, that you can actually swing, shoulder thing, She starts swinging at the cops, so the cops start going like, so yeah, so now the cops, they can't touch her, right? So she's in there wailing away, and everybody's fighting, knocking down things, and meanwhile, Tony Slater, right, he hammers a friggin' security guard, or a waiter, right? He fucking knocks him out. Shouldn't swear. He knocks him out. He goes up against one of those poles and slides down the pole, right? All cold. But Tony buggers off, right? He takes off after that. So he didn't stick around. So he buggered off. So now my dad's there, right? He's down on his knees, and there's 6 cops all over him, holding him down. My mom gets in there and starts knocking the cops down. Cops can't get a hold of my mom, so they call in the reserves, the lady police, right? There was a few back then. There wasn't many. I don't believe there was that many lady police officers. So they had to wait for the ladies to get there, right, to grab a hold of my mother. So the lady cops show up. They get my mom. Everybody, the paddy wagon shows up. They all hop in the wagon, and they go to jail. Next thing you know, they're in, standing in front of the judge. And the judge says, asked, who your name, like the names, right? So Ricky says, oh, my name's Rick Harrison, right? And Donnie says, his name's Donnie Harrison, My dad says his name's Bob Harrison, right? And my mom says, and the judge says, and what's your name? This is the lady or whatever. And my mom stands, 5'2" or 3 or whatever she was, stands up and says, stands there and goes, my name's Doris Harrison, right? And the judge says, what have we got here, an Amal Barker gang? So, anyway, they were all fined. I don't know what they were fined now, I can't remember. But they were all put under probation too. Even my mother, she was under probation. So that's the day at the racetrack. So there's a lesson to be learned here, right? If you're ever sitting in the racetrack and you want to go to the bathroom, make sure one of you stay at the table and keep an eye on the beer. Anyway, that's the story I told today. I got lots of stories. And that's, like I said, that's just a little condensed story. My mom and dad, my 2 brothers, Ricky and Donnie. Of course, I got another brother, Sammy, but he's at the time, right, he was too young to be at the racetrack. So, yeah. It's a memory from my brother, Ricky. And I thought I'd tell that story. Yeah. Miss you, Rick. All right. There you go, people. I'll tell another story some other day. Maybe even I might even tell another one today. Who knows? Make up my mind. But yeah, there you go, people. Stay safe. Talk to you later.